Hello, this is Victor, and this week I wanted to talk a little bit about the varnish. Normally, varnish is seen as a way to protect the miniature, but also is a way to do the final finishing to the miniature, and sometimes can be the way to um, to protect or to repair some mistakes that we do. So let me explain a little bit more on the three functions that I use for the varnish. The first one is I have here three types of varnishes. I have the Purity Seal, is a matte varnish from Citadel, and you can use it from other brands. I use this one. In my case, is giving quite a nice finishing, and I never had issues with the finishing of this varnish. You have to apply this in a very thin coats. I did a video how I apply it in case you are interested, and you can find it in the archive. I will put the link below so you can see how to apply the varnish in a way that is not damaging the paint job to do it in the miniature. Then here I have matte varnish, okay, and I have hard coat, that is a gloss varnish from Citadel. Both of them are acrylic varnish. So the first thing is the Purity Seal. I use this Purity Seal varnish in spray, especially when I apply pigments. When I apply pigments or powders from to do dirtiness and to fix this on the miniature, you have to apply varnish or you have to apply a fixing agent. So in that case, to fix the powders that, and the dirtiness that you have seen here, the best is once you are finished, it's better to apply a varnish, because if you don't apply that, if you touch the part that or the part with the pigments, they will be rubbed off. So because they are not fixed, and you always can dilute them again, so it's important to fix the pigments. Then also I have for me the one that have more utility is the gloss varnish, and is to give special finishings. Where I use the gloss varnish, and here I'm going to give you some examples. The way to apply is always to make a thin layer on top of what you paint, and I always do this as the final layer and to give the final touch. If you want, of course, if you want to varnish matte, first you have to apply the spray and then you have to apply the hard coat. If not, you will kill the gloss effect of this varnish. So let's see here some examples, and one is on this bike. For example, to do the gems, I always apply here gloss varnish. It's going to be difficult maybe to see in camera, but always when I do gems, I finish the work doing gloss varnish. Also here on the mask, I apply gloss varnish to make this porcelain effect and wet effect. So to give like an alien finishing to this. I will not apply this on the rest of the bike, and yeah, I normally will use gloss varnish. Another part that I applied is here on the weapon. On the end of the weapon, I also apply gloss varnish to make it more bright and to make it make more like glass or something, an alien material. So this is one way to use the varnish. Then another way I use the varnish is here. I want to give like organic looking to this flail, and then I use gloss varnish to simulate that there is some mucosity or is a wet surface. So varnish is a way to simulate wet surfaces. The same I did on this beast of Nargel. If you see, it's going to be difficult, but I apply varnish on the tongue. I apply varnish here at the end of this part. This way it's so shiny, and also on the ground to simulate some fluids coming from the beast of Nargel. This was paint time ago before we had any of the technical paints. Also on this open open wounds, I also apply varnish to make more glossy effect, and you see at the end of all of these tentacles I apply some varnish. So varnish is a way to give a final touch and to also to make the looking of wet. And I also apply here to simulate that this helmet have been eat by the Norgal, and then he just throw it away after eating what is inside of the head. Then the last thing the last example I want to share with you is here on the eyes. Okay, to make them to look more natural. Normally eyes are shiny and are wet, and especially if you do big eyes. I don't do this for small eyes, but if you have to do big eyes gloves, I recommend also to apply some varnish. Sometimes also I apply this on horns to make them more shiny, but here you see on the eyes, and in this type of face is looking good. So here is just I wanted to share with you some ways to apply the varnish. And then the last one, the matte varnish. So here in this joint of the arm, sorry, was in that one, I made a mistake and the glue was shining out of the joint. So how I solved that, I used the matte varnish and I applied this on top of the glossiness, and then I killed the glossiness of the glue with the matte varnish, and then the problem was solved. So my last example when I use varnish is, for example, here on the wing, on this wing of the Valkyria or Vendetta in the case. I use varnish to make the transfer less visible. So what I do is apply gloss varnish, then I apply the transfer and apply another layer of gloss varnish, and I finish it doing a matte varnish in that case. And the transfer gets integrated into the color, and it's very discreet now. You can see here the other side. So this on my other way to use the varnishes. So varnishes can be used also to help you or make the transfers less visible, or make them look like more paint and less like a transfer. So summarizing, varnish can be used for can have more uses than just to protect the miniature. Of course, the one in the spray is mainly used to protect the miniature, and I also use it to seal powders. This one, the matte, is mainly to protect miniatures, but it's also to make less visible mistakes. If you have glue shining out there, I recommend to put some of this varnish, will make it more discreet after you do the paint job. And later on we have the hair coat if you want to do shiny surfaces, screens, gems, wet surfaces, tongues, a big ace and something like that. Anything that you think that can be humid, and of course water. So anything that you think that it's wet or shiny, like a screen or glass, you can use the gloss varnish. So here I just want to share with you some uses of the varnishes and some ideas of where to use it. I hope you find it useful. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you use varnish for your last finishing. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.